Hello guys. Today I'm going to talk about my discrimination experience in Australia. I have been in Australia for 8 years. In the past 8 years, I experienced a few incidents of racism. I remember the first time that I encountered racism when I was studying in university. It was a few years ago. I was riding my bicycle to my friend's place, and a lady, she was sitting in a bus station, and she started to shouting at me and ask me to go back to my country. Because I didn't experience racism before that time, so I was really worried. So that is the first time, and I told my friends about this incident, and he told me, "Oh, she's a racist. You should report to police." Because I have no concept about racism. Because I came from China, and in China there's no racism. So, I don't know the existence of racism. But after that experience, I started to realize in Australia there is racism. At least most people are very, very nice, friendly, but there are some racist people in Australia. So that is the first time that I experienced racism in Australia. So the second racism experience comes from teenagers. I was riding a bicycle on my way to my apartment, and so there were two school children, a teenage boy and a teenage girl, and they were also riding bicycle. And for some reason, they started to chase me, and I was so afraid, so I speed up, and luckily I got rid of them finally. So that is my second time of encountering racism. And the third incident, it happened in an organization. I don't want to mention the name of the organization. So basically, I was attending that organization regularly. Most members from that organization comes from Malaysia, Singapore, China, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, one Japanese, or local Australian. So basically, it's an international students organization. So I attended that organization regularly, and there was one lady, and she comes from Malaysia, but her background is Chinese. I thought she is my friend because her background is Chinese, but I was being told by other people that she talked me badly behind me to other people, and I was so surprised. I couldn't understand what makes her to hate me so much. But recently, I started to get a sense. I started to understand it. So there's something called retaliation. So basically, if you are Chinese and you get bullied in Malaysia because of your background, and you started to hate people coming from your same background. So I started to feel that lady, she hated me because probably she was getting bullied in Malaysia because she comes from China background, so she wanted to retaliate me because I'm from the same background. This is a legit phenomenon. I don't judge it. So, yeah. So that is my third racism experience. So I lived in Australia for 8 years, and I only have 3 encounters of racism, so I feel I'm very lucky. According to my conversations with other international students, one student told me he encounters racism every day, everywhere in Australia. And it happened before COVID-19. And that conversation happened before COVID-19 happened. And now the situation should be worse. But luckily, I didn't experience racism in Australia everywhere, every day. The people I met in Australia mostly are very nice, and I only encountered 3 incidents and two of the three are from local Australia, and the last incident comes from a Malaysian Chinese. So I don't think Australian people are very racist, according to my experience. Because in Australia, when I was studying in university, I have some amazing friends, and most of them, they are very supportive. So, I didn't get attacked or discriminated much in the past 8 years. But I do recognize it does exist. So being discriminated is prevalent. It's common in Australia as an international student. Even though I had been discriminated a few times, but I do like Australia so much. And I believe most people are not acting like that. And the third incident really gave me some fruit of thoughts. The phenomenon of this retaliation phenomenon is really sad and interesting. So imagine if someone being bullied because she has Chinese blood, because she comes from Chinese background, and then she becomes anti-China. This phenomenon is just unbelievable, and I think most people wouldn't know about this without without encounter this experience. So I never thought about I can be discriminated by a Malaysian Chinese, and I wouldn't believe she would do that. I thought she is one of my best friends, but so I was so surprised and I was so hurt after I found out that she hated me so much from my other friends, and I didn't do anything wrong. I just she hated me simply because I came from the same background as she came from, and she was being bullied because she came from that background. It's very ridiculous and surprising. So if you look at some anti-China people in the West, for example, Jordan. I forgot his surname, but his first name is Jordan, and he wrote a book. The book name is called "The Fallen of Chinese Economy." Yeah, and that guy, so he is a Chinese American Chinese. His father came from Jiangsu, China, and he was born in America, and he grew up in America. But he is so anti-China, and I think probably he got bullied in America before when as a child, and then so that experience makes him become so anti-China. So it's called a retaliation phenomenon. So Jordan is so anti-China, but he is Chinese heritage. I think he just wanted to become, maybe he thinks being anti-China can make he become more American or something like that. And because he was being bullied in America as a child, I guess, and so he really wants to become more American, being accepted by American society. So Jordan is an example, and there are other people you can find out on the internet. I don't have time to list them all, but this phenomenon is existing, but it is a legit phenomenon. But I don't want to spread hate. I was being bullied by a Malaysian Chinese, but I'm not going to bully other Chinese. I will keep it to myself and educate my, be nice to everyone, because hate can spread. I don't want people spread hate everywhere. I mean, we can only stop hate by love. We cannot stop hate by spreading hate. We cannot deliver that hate. So it's not Yeah, so it's not a good thing that you deliver that hate to other people. So this is my thinking. Generally speaking, I only have 3 encounters of racism, so I feel I'm very lucky. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Bye bye, guys.